the voice with which we speak is more important than what we say. How do we improve the tone of our voice? The exercises which you will hear and see on this tape were originated by Dr. Frank E. Miller of New York City. He was a very famous throat specialist. They are all created scientifically. When he opened his office in New York City, he took with him 3 outstanding singers. My teacher, Maud Douglas Tweedy, was one of those singers. We have all had, I might say before going further, that she worked with him in his office in New York City for 5 years, watching every sort of problem that came into the studio, into the office, be it a speaker or a singer. We have all had experiences in listening to professors and ministers, salesmen and lecturers. Some have drawn us to them by the quality of tone with which they were speaking. Others simply have driven us right into the wall, and we could hardly wait until class was over to get out, or the lecture was over. Others were very, very monotonous, and they absolutely just lulled us to sleep. They were speaking in such a monotone. You can be the speaker which draws people to you. Let me quickly review some of our physiology. Perhaps you may have forgotten some of it. I wish to show you a chart of the whole abdominal area. This rectus muscle is connected to the sternum bone, to the pubic bone, and up to the sternum bone. All of the abdominal muscles go in toward this rectus muscle. The sternum bone also is where your diaphragm is connected. It is connected there and swings down to the 12th rib in the back. Now let us look at a diaphragm. This is an X-ray of my MD in New York City. Here it is before the lungs are filled with air. This is a heart you see sitting on top of the diaphragm. These are the lungs when they are filled with air. Notice, please, how this diaphragm from here to here has changed in position. It is higher here, it is lower here, because the air is in the lungs. I want you to look now at a quick shot of the cross-section of our head. This is a very important part for you as a speaker. If that head is not sitting right, you will not speak right. The vocal cords are right down here in this area. Here is the windpipe. They're right above the windpipe going on down into the lungs. This is the spinal column. These are the tongue muscles that you will hear me speaking more of just a moment, and the chin muscles. They are all connected into this area down here. Now I wish you to look at a model of the larynx. The thyroid cartilage is here. The hyoid bone is here. The tongue muscles that you will see me illustrating in just a moment are fastened to this hyoid bone. Sometimes we call it the tongue bone. You call this sometimes your Adam's apple. Now, I wish you to see The vocal cords that we were speaking about just a moment ago, this is the way they look when you are inhaling. They're open. These are the cords here. When they are healthy, they are white. This tissue here is very soft. It's a lovely pink. When you begin to speak, those vocal cords come together and you begin to sing or to speak. The tongue muscles that I spoke about just a moment ago, I want to show you very vividly about, because really, people, this is so important to you as a speaker. I told you that the chin muscles are all connected to that hyoid bone that I showed you on the model just a moment ago. The thyroid, cartilage, the whole voice box is right down under here. But these muscles of the chin and of the tongue go right down into this hyoid or tongue bone. I have had patients sent to me by throat specialists with really very serious problems, even though I am a teacher of singing. One man was a businessman. He lectures all over the United States. When he came to me, he was constantly clearing his throat. He had hemorrhaging of the vocal cords, so the doctor told me. When he came into the studio, I said, "Don't clear your throat. That is a first thing. One must never clear their throat." You say, "What do you do when you have phlegm on your throat?" You say, bounce it up from the air over the cords. When you clear that throat, it only adds insult to injury. You can scrape those cords until you become hoarse. Don't clear the throat. Also, don't drink ice water when you are speaking. How many times have I heard lecturers with a pitcher of ice water sitting on the lectern or the pulpit, taking this cold water? Does a runner ever have ice water thrown upon his legs before he starts to run? Of course not. Neither should you as a speaker. If your throat becomes dry, have a pitcher of tepid water. It will moisten the back of your throat and the soft palate area, which is very important to you as a speaker. And the vocal cords sit very closely to the area where that water is going down. The water doesn't hit the vocal cords, as you know. Now, another patient that a throat specialist sent to me was a woman politician. When she came to me, she had no voice at all. She could not even whisper. There was not a sound coming out of this dear soul. The doctor told me when he called, saying she had had chronic laryngitis for 2 years. The first thing I asked her was about smoking. I said, "Do you smoke?" And yes, she was a heavy smoker. These are not my ideas. This came from a throat specialist. When the tobacco smoke hits the vocal cords, it causes little blisters to come upon those cords. This is the first thing I asked her not to do, was to cut down and cut out, particularly, completely, if possible, the smoking. I had these 2 patients over a period of 2 months. I saw them 3 times a week, 30 minutes at a time. When they left my studio, they not only had eliminated the problem with which they came to me, but they had beautiful speaking, resonant voices and wanted to go on studying singing. Now, another person, many people have come to me from drama departments with nodes on the chords from incorrect speaking. What is a node? It's a little callus that comes on the chords like comes on your toe when a shoe is rubbing. It's hard. In the drama departments, they many times say, project, project, project. I don't use this word project. I know what they want. They want that actor or actress to be heard at the back row, and you as a lecturer wish the same thing. When you project, sometimes you tighten this whole throat area, the laryngeal area, that voice box. The tone will carry when the breath support is correct and the throat is not constricted by the jaw and the tongue being held tight. When it is coordinated and the sharp consonants are put on, that tone is going to carry whether it is in a whisper or in a dynamic tone. The exercises I will demonstrate to you today cleared up these problems of which I have spoken, and they should also prevent you from ever having them. They will make you a more effective speaker, allowing you to use the different dynamic levels and colors in your speech. You will absolutely become a more effective speaker. I've asked one of my students, Alfred McDaniel, to assist me today. Alfred, the first thing we talk about is body alignment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The body alignment, by that I mean that the tailbone is under. Let me say this about this gentleman that I spoke of a moment ago. He had been taught to hold in the abdomen very high. His chest was very high. His chin was pressed down. And there was such rigidity that it just hurt me to listen to him. This is all wrong. You don't hold in that abdomen. It comes into place so beautifully from this next exercise that we are going to give. Alfred, I want you to say the word, well, first, let's get the tailbone out first. I want you to see what's happening here in this area here. All right, tailbone out. Now tailbone under. Did you see that lift? This whole area lifted. Do it once again. Tailbone out. It's plopped out. All right, tailbone under. You men or women that have bay windows, believe me, this exercise will help you get rid of it, as well as helping you in your speech. All right, now, the next thing I want you to say is, and put a sharp K on the end of it. We always whisper this exercise, okay? Do you see what's happening to the lower abdominal area? And the chest, you see the whole thing. Do it just once again so you get the complete picture of the lower abdominal area and the chest, all right? All right. Now, if that won't go right for you, lie down on the floor. Will you lie down, Alfred, please? Let your knees be up. Put your hand over on your abdominal area. All right, now just lie there and breathe normally. Do you see the stomach coming up? All right, as he's exhaling, it's going in. All right, now say, All right. You see what's happening? The tailbone is also under, isn't it, Alfred?
It has to be.
Now, it has to be when you're in this lying position. Therefore, that lower abdominal area is correct. Stand now, please. All of these exercises have to be done every day if you get benefit from them, believe me. Now, the next exercise we do is what I call the circle arm breath. Now, this is going to be dealing with the whole abdominal area. His one arm is behind him, up between his shoulder blades. The other arm is coming in front of him. He is inhaling very slowly through the teeth. The abdominal area from the sternum bone down to the pubic bone is all being involved. Watch very closely now as he finishes that breath what is happening at the lower part of the abdomen. The chest is going to stay high, strong. Did you see it spring out? All right, do the other arm, Alfred. Inhale very slowly through the teeth, slowly, slowly, slowly. Pause a minute at the top so you can feel all this area working. The area of the lungs, the lower abdominal area. Go down as slowly as possible, exhaling through the teeth. You feel a pull all the way from your legs up, do you not? Did you? All the way from the legs right straight up through the whole body, because the tailbone was under. The lower abdominal area will not be right unless that tailbone is under, believe me. All right, now the next thing we do is to build that inside oral cavity, which we call our mouth. All right, and we have this wonderful smile that he's using right now. And when you're smiling like this, what do you feel happening in the back of your throat?
It's open all the way back here, soft palate.
The soft palate is open. It feels like it's going up. You never pull the soft palate up, but when you want a warm speaking tone, that soft palate has to be up. You get it up by that wonderful inside smile. Now, the one thing that will help strengthen that is what I call the wide snuff exercise. First thing I think about, call attention to, is strength. Pull up these muscles right up underneath the eyes. Pull them up. Now drop the hinge of the jaw. All right? Don't let this go here. Keep it strong. Now, the tip of the tongue is front. The back of the tongue is up. He is going to inhale through his nose. All right? The wide snuff, Alfred. Exhale through the mouth. You feel as though an umbrella is going up inside the mouth as you're exhaling, right? And you feel like you want to yawn. Good, that's a good sign. All right, you always speak with that inside smile. Now say, oh, oh. You see? This is swinging here. Oh, and he's swinging from a feeling of the width in the mask. All right? You know, we Americans are so afraid to move our faces that we just talk with a deadpan face like this, and the tone doesn't go anyplace. That is why we work so hard getting this inside smile and wide snuff. Now, the lady of whom I spoke a moment ago came to me with this position. I am not exaggerating, people. The chest was clear in, the neck was out, the tailbone was out. First thing I tried to do was get the tailbone under. It still didn't do anything about this, so I did this with my shoulders. I pulled them back. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th time down. Now, she was like this to start with, and this was not easy. She didn't get them back all at once. You won't either. 1, 2, don't let the neck stick out. Keep the neck straight. 3, 4, and I feel a width across my chest. Now, that area right there is one of the most important parts of your speaking foundation, right in the chest area. I want you to watch me as I say, he, hey, ha. Do you see the lower abdominal area as well as the chest? Watch it once again. He, hey, ha. If I did not have that inside smile, it wouldn't sound he, hey, ha. It takes the whole thing. Speakers, the lower abdominal area, the chest area, and that inside smile, they're all hooked up together. Now, will you say for me, ki, ke, ka, ko, ku, and then I want you to watch what is happening in between. Let the abdomen come out, Alfred, in between, all right?
Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku. Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku. Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku.
All right. Why the K exercises? They are for the soft palate. You don't speak ever back in the soft palate area. You speak front, but that K, you cannot say a K without involving the soft palate. And believe me, lecturers and speakers and dramatists, this soft palate is extremely important to you in that profession, whatever it might be. Now, another exercise I give to help strengthen the breath support is the one of bending over the piano. Alfred, will you do that, please? Or something about this height. Now, the tailbone, the knees are flexed. Now say, shh, and feel a big width through here. When he takes a breath, I feel the whole rib cage spring right out. Do it once again. All right, fine, thank you. Now, I want you to do an exercise. See how much blood went up into his head, too. That's good for you, too. Get the blood circulating up there. All right, the next exercise that we use, trying to get that jaw and tongue to be loose and working in coordination, is a fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee. All right? Will you do that, please?
Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee.
Don't hold the last knee. Now, you see, he's a singer, as I told you, and we do this a little bit different, but it's always staccato, even in singing. Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee. All right, once again.
Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee.
All right. Now, say fla, fla, knee, and hold the jaw stiff and see what happens.
Fla, fla, knee. Fla, fla, knee.
Do you hear the difference? I do. Do you feel the difference, Alfred?
Feel the difference.
Where? Right there. Hmm?
Right there and right here.
Right. The tone just does not go out where you wish it to go. Now, the next exercise we use is a ning, ning, ning. This is to help develop the resonance in your speaking voice. And you feel a great deal of vibration right through the bridge of the nose, all right?
Ningy, ningy, ning. Ningy, ningy, ning.
All right, now say ning-ah.
Ning-ah, ning-ah, ning. ning, ah, ning, ah, ning.
All right. You notice that the jaw is moving on those. It's not ning, ah, ning, ah, ning. It's ning, ah, ning, ah, ning. You can hear the difference. All right, now, ka, ke, ki, ko, ku. Speak it 3 times, and I want you to watch at the lower part of the abdomen. We've talked about this upper space of the head here now in the jaw. Watch what's happening in between these ka, ke, ki, ko, ku as he goes into the next one. You won't hear him take a breath. This is what I'm trying to point out to you. This area right down here springs out. All right, now.
Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku. Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku. Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku.
Watch it again.
Ki, ke, ka, ko, ku.
All right. You see, this muscle at the lower part of the abdominal area is really the key to your breathing. When that tailbone is under, did you hear me take a breath? You saw the abdominal area spring out. But I didn't. You don't have to. That dries the throat out, people. I want Alfred to read something, and I want you particularly, I want him to combine all of the things that we've been speaking about, and I want you to watch the lower part of the abdomen. Again, what is happening down here as he is reading. So you will notice that he does not have to take a breath. All right?
Gentlemen, I would like information on how to become part owner in a portfolio of more than 120 U.S. corporations for $20 a month. I understand this is a fund that owns securities in more than 120 organizations. It is designed to give me both long-term capital gain possibilities and reasonable income consistent with gain objectives. By using your investor accumulation plan, I can now buy Investor's Stock Fund for $20 a month.
Do you see how this lower part of the abdomen was working through that whole time that he was speaking? The lower part of the abdomen. I want to point this out very, very clearly. Alfred, will you try to read that the way you... Alfred and I came from the same area of the country. We won't mention where that is. But when I first went to New York City, I talked just like that, and when I would go to announce my number that I was going to sing, and then I would begin to sing, I sounded like 2 different persons. What did I do? I carried over these same exercises, thinking about the speaking voice. Alfred, let's see if you can go back to the old way that you used to do it. Let me hear you just a little bit.
Gentlemen, I would like information on how to become part owner in a portfolio of more than 120 U.S. corporations for $20 a month. I understand it is a fund that owns securities in more than 120 U.S. corporations.
All right, let me stop you just a minute. You know, you have already increased that oral cavity and the soft palate space so much that there's not nearly the difference in your speaking voice now that was there when you first came to me. Believe me, it's improved tremendously. All right. Now, I want you to watch again down here, because this is what he was doing. The tailbone was under, that was springing out. You don't hear me take a breath. It just happens. Now, if you are lecturing and you have to sit while you are lecturing, it is just as important that you sit with the body in the right alignment. If you notice here, the back of my spine is very straight. My tailbone is under. If I'm like that, my stomach is out, my tailbone is out, my neck is up, this is all tight. And PBX operators, how many have I had come to me with nodes on their cords? Number please, and it's all pulled up. You get that neck back in the right position, and the tailbone under, so the whole area of support of the breath, which is in that lung space, the cavity, right, in these ribs, and the diaphragm is down on the 12th rib. And here, if it's down like that, it just can't work. All right, if you are at a lectern and you wish to be having your hands over the lectern, don't let your chest area go under, go down. Keep that tailbone under. The chest is wide. For all public speaking, the main thing is that breath support and that space inside the mouth with the loose jaw and tongue that we have been speaking about. The consonants are put on with that little hook muscle. T, T, K. The volume control, the dynamic levels. I can speak up in that nasal pharynx, but I still have to feel like I had the breath support under it. Or I can speak with a warm tone, thinking of the inside smile, and the tone will be warm. The diaphragm, the head, I just simply cannot stress this too much. If you run out of breath, let that lower part of the abdomen snap out, just as I was showing a moment ago. The diaphragm, when you let the lower part of the abdomen spring out, the diaphragm drops, and the outside air pressure pushes the air into the lungs. I can go on and on and on and on, and you will never know when I take a breath. I don't think. It just pops out and I go on. For speech levels, think first of the pitch, which feels comfortable to you. If you have a high speaking voice and you want a lower speaking voice, don't try to push it down in your throat. It will become more resonant, and therefore the pitch level will drop. It will become warm because of the inside spaces of that smile that we've been talking about. You can have a dynamic tone by closing off the back spaces of that inside smile and going into the nasal pharynx and sending that tone right out with the breath support underneath it. How do you get nasality out of the tone? When somebody talks in the nose, it's usually that they have a very, very tight jaw and they don't loosen it at all, and everything in the back is all closed off. All right? The wide snuff and the exercises that I've been giving with the tongue and the jaw. The soft palate, one never pulls up. It comes up by the involuntary nervous system. Sometimes you feel like you're yawning and it goes up. This is a very important part of you as a speaker. What do you do when you get somebody that talks such a harsh tone that you wish they would get 10 miles away from you? It's right down on the cords. It's going to wear them out. Well, all right. You never push down the tone trying to lower the pitch, is what I'm trying to bring out here. Get those inside spaces open, the breath support under it, and the harshness will leave. The voice reflects you as a person. It can tell whether you are happy or sad or full of energy. Moderate your speed in your speaking. If it's too slow, it's going to just absolutely put your classroom to sleep or your hearers to sleep. If it's too fast, they won't even understand what you're saying. Get it on a tape and listen to yourself. Moderate the speed. Your voice can be warm and resonant with the breath support underneath it, and with the clean enunciation of the consonants and that inside smile. It will draw audiences to you. You cannot get these without all of these things coordinating. Of all the musculature of which we have shown you, it will help you become a more convincing actor or speaker. It takes all of them together and working at them every day.
Soft palate.
Strong, high arch in the soft palate. I want you to do just one little spot of the shadow song, will you? Where the shadow is talking and then where the little gal is talking. Thank you. I also want you to do one little spot of the Martin aria, Mozart, will you please? I'm having you do that because this lies in that middle area that's where we are working the hardest on right now, as well as going clear up to the top too. Okay. And just let your jaw just drop down without even thinking anything about the inside pull-ups.
That's right.
Same thing. Okay. Do you feel any difference?
Well, I just I feel that the second is completely out of control.
Completely out of control. Also, part of the time you were doing it right, and part of the time you were
right. Because it's hard after you work so hard trying to do it right. It's very hard to do it completely wrong again.
That's right. All right. Now try it just once again, and don't drop the jaw now. Quite. That's just a C, octave C. Martin, Martin. Once again now. Okay. Thank you very much, Jackie. It's always a problem in classifying voices. I never tell. When she came to me, she was singing dramatic soprano things, material, and I had no idea there was any coloratura there. I never tell anyone in the first lesson what they are until after get the oral cavity all coordinated with the jaw and the tongue, the breath, and the timbre of the voice commences to come in. Then it's when I commence to think about what the voice is going to be. Sometimes lyric sopranos turn to be mezzos. I've had this happen just in the last year. I've had dramatic coloraturas, dramatic mezzos, I should say, that have been forced up to becoming lyric sopranos, and when they did it, they lost all of that beautiful, luscious tone they had. Sometimes a high baritone will go into a high held in tenor. Many, many times this happens. This all happens around the age of late 20s and early 30s, and then it's when we have to be very, very careful about what we do with that voice. I want you to know Madeline Caparo. Now, please come. Madeline came to me when she was 21. When I was teaching in the Manhattan School of Music in New York City, she had a wide range, and it was a true mezzo. And then our paths sort of passed, and only been the last 2 years that we've been back together again. I want you to do the NG, but first do the ragdoll drop for me, please. Now, big wide back breath, and I want you to start on the NG exercise that you've heard me do on all the tapes before this. Come on down the whole way, please. All right, up one more. Okay, you don't know where you are. All right, where are we now? The D flat? Hit the talk to you, or give her the E, please. High E, all right? Okay, and you see there is no change in the line. All right, now I want her to do the Ocean. Just one bit of it. She brought this to me and I nearly fell over. I didn't tell her to do it. She just brought it. Okay, Ocean. This is one of the great big dramatic arias for sopranos. Okay. I've heard this once, twice, I guess, before. There's a lot of polishing that has to be done on it. It's wrong for a teacher to tell that voice, as far as I'm concerned, look, I'm going to make a soprano, a dramatic soprano out of you. We're walking on precarious ground, and one should be very, very careful about this. This is why I never tell a student this when they first come in to my studio. But the voice to me sounds like it wants to go up. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to start out, and we'll start working with the young dramatic soprano and see what just will happen. Thank you so much. We cannot tell until the whole body is functioning correctly what that voice is going to become.